Okay guys, now in our last video we took a look at this gaming PC that I purchased for just £30. It was actually an unworking system, but we managed to fix it by simply replacing a connection, and then it all just came alive. The system itself is pretty old, it was pretty cheap, and we never really got around to actually testing any games on it, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to see what we can actually play on it, if we can play anything at all. Now, for those of you that didn't watch the previous video, we'll just go over the specifications of this system. I purchased it for just £30 as a broken system. We managed to fix it, and at the heart of it, it is an AM3 Plus system. We have the AMD FX 4300. It's a very old quad-core processor now, so it's not really that much cop, especially even with modern operating systems and stuff like that. And gaming is going to be a totally another thing. We've got a single stick of 8 gigabytes of DDR3, which again is going to really affect its gaming performance. And then for the hard drive, we've got an actual hard drive. It is a spinning rush drive. It's a Toshiba 1 terabyte. Again, probably the biggest downfall to this system, particularly when it comes to the operating system speeds and basically doing anything. But that's exactly what we've got, and that's what we're going to work with. For the graphics card though, we do have an AMD Radeon R7 250. It's a 1 gigabyte graphics card from all the way back in, I believe it's 2012, 2013, something like that. It was kind of a what they classify as a mid-range graphics card back then, but of course nowadays it's completely entry level, if not even just a display adapter. So that's again where we are at. The power supply is a Corsair VS450, which is okay. It is enough to power the system and it kind of gets the job done. And of course we've got a nice little DVD drive in the front there. No floppy drive on this. It's not that old yet, and to be honest, you can't even plug one in. It doesn't have that kind of connection. But since the last time you saw it, I have done a little bit of work on it. I've not changed any of the hardware components at all, but we have given it a little bit of a tidy up. That was a very easy job to do. We just simply tore the system down and then gave it a clean, the proper budget gamer way. After the cleanup, I did rebuild the system and we have repasted the CPU and the GPU. We've also done quite a bit of cable management in there because I like a nice tidy system, and particularly this case doesn't have any additional case fans or anything like that, so airflow is quite important. None of the work that I've done on this system cost me anything, and it shouldn't really affect the performance that much, but of course we need to figure out if this system can actually play anything. So let's go get it hooked up and see what kind of games we can start. The cleanup of the system didn't really affect the noise levels of it. It's still quite loud. Most of it is actually coming from that mechanical hard drive more than the fans and things like that. Although when they do spin up, they do get a little bit loud. The only thing to really fix that is, of course, change out the mechanical drive or at least throw the side on the case. So if you do hear it, that's exactly what it is. It gets a little bit noisy when it gets under pressure and the hard drive's a little bit grindy. But apart from that, the system seems to run okay. I think even with the cleanup, things look a lot better now, even if it doesn't really change performance and noise levels. It just looks a lot cleaner and a lot more shinier, something you can be a little bit more proud of. As well as the cleanup, we have gone through the operating system and cleaned a few things up there too. We've installed the latest updates from Windows. It is Windows 10 Home, which is a bit weird because I've never really used Home before. I tend to use Professional, but I can't really tell a difference so far. And I've also installed the latest available drivers for the graphics card, which according to the MSI Afterburner is Adrenalin 2020 22.6.1. That's just the latest one that I could find that would actually work on Windows 10. So it's pretty old and very unsupported now. But of course, we're going to see what we can actually play on it. I've installed some very lightweight games really because it's only fair on this system. There's no point putting it under too much pressure, and we're not going to get too far, particularly with the lack of technology in here. But overall, if you are somebody that wants to play something like Half-Life 2, then it will absolutely have no problem doing that. During my warm-up testing for it, in 1080p with a high preset, you can easily achieve over 120 frames per second, which is great for anybody that wants to play that. And pretty much all of the older Valve games will play with that kind of style. So it's actually reasonably okay for anybody that wants to do that. But for everything else, of course, we're going to be moving up the years here. The first game we're going to try is Tomb Raider from 2013. This is a game that this system would have been designed around playing back in the day. So let's kickstart it up and see what kind of performance we get out of it. Now, generally speaking, Tomb Raider from 2013 should run okay on this system. It shouldn't have any problems at all. It's a very lightweight game with a very low minimum spec, and even in the menu system, we're getting a pretty decent average here, 40 FPS. I'm not exactly sure what the configuration is set to, but what we will do is we'll click continue on a game. think this is pretty much right at the start of it, so that's okay. It'll give us a flavor of what the system can do. We'll then go into the settings once we're in there, see what we can actually configure, and hopefully we can get a 60 FPS experience out of it. I wouldn't like to drop the resolution, but so far it's not looking so good. We're currently getting an average of 33. In the rain in this game, it is when the system gets put under the most pressure, so we'll do a little bit of running around and see what it kind of averages and levels out to. At the moment, it's averaging around 36 frames per second with a 1% low of 32. You probably were playing this game at 720p all the way back then, so 1080p of course is putting it under a little bit more pressure, but again, 30 FPS isn't too bad considering this is what you would have got back in the day, and especially if you were playing this on something like a games console. The Xbox 360 would have output this game at around 720p, maybe with a little bit of upscaling, and you would have got around between 25 and 30 FPS. So far it's actually looking pretty good. The more we go into the environment, it's increasing our performance here to around 40 FPS, but we'll head over to the settings and see what we've got configured. Under our basic settings here, we've got a resolution of 1080p, VSync is turned off, that's fine, and then we'll go to advanced, and the quality setting is currently set to high. We're going to lower that down to normal, see if we can boost up that FPS a little bit. The system is very slow at being able to do this kind of stuff. Just even saving settings can really put it under pressure sometimes, but we'll go back into game now. So performance is increased slightly here, and we're getting an average now of around 48 and a black screen. So I'm not sure what's going on now. The game actually is just kind of lowered itself down into the Windows bar. Just click back and okay, it's come back up again. So that must be an old PC quirk there. We're currently getting an average of around 46, 47 frames per second with a 1% low of 44. Kind of means that the game is actually quite playable. It's very smooth. If you were playing this on a controller, you'd have absolutely no issues at all. But I do wonder what it will take to actually get this game to run a little bit better. Maybe we'll head towards that 60 FPS. Just pop over to the graphics settings. We're going to lower it down to, low. So we've got an option of, in this game, we've got low, we've got normal, we've got high, and then we've got ultra. Of course, ultra is not going to help us out here, so we'll go down to a low setting. The game should still look okay. I don't think there should be any problems with it, but we'll wait for the system catch back up with its actual settings, and then we'll get back into game. So in a low setting, the game looks very much like it would have done back in the day. It's not too bad, actually. It's still more than playable. And now we're getting an average of around 75 frames per second with a 1% low of 64. So I would actually say that this game is completely playable on this system. It's definitely something you can get away with. So for £30, and that's it, you can definitely do this. Now the next game that we're trying is Stray. It's another one of those favorite games of mine of over the past kind of 5 to 6 years. It was released in roughly around 2020, and it is another lightweight game. You can kind of class it as an indie game, really. I think that's basically what we're going to restrict this system to. I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave it in 1080p for now, and under the resolution scaling, we're going to drop it down to 80%. That's okay. And then we're going to leave all of the rest of it on low. I'm going to take off motion blur because I really don't like that, and we don't need anything else holding us back. VSync is enabled, although we'll disable it just for now, just to see what happens. And then we'll save the settings, which are very quick in this game for some reason. And we'll go and load the game in. We're going to go into Midtown because this is actually one of the most demanding areas of the game. So at least we'll get a good indication of how bad it is or good it is. I'm not really holding up much to hope for this game, but we'll have to wait for it to load first because of that mechanical drive.
One eternity later.
After a while of waiting, we are now in game and things are not looking good at all. It is a very stuttery experience here with a frame time of around 200. It just jumped up to 888 there. I clearly think that this game is just pushing this far too much now, and it's making it really difficult to actually play. You can't really see what's going on. It's very stuttery as we turn the mouse around. And graphically, because we're in such a low setting with a render scale down to the 80%, it doesn't look good at all either. It's clearly 1080p for Stray is just not going to work on this system. It's just too much for it, and we're getting lots of graphical glitches now. So one thing we'll do is we'll head back over to the setting. I think we were getting roughly about 7 frames per second at one point then, but we'll go to the settings, we'll go to the graphics, we'll see if we can adjust the resolution down to 720p. I don't think many people will play at 720p now, but if this works, then maybe we can get away with it. We'll save those changes. We will have to change a few of the other things too, because in 720p with a lowered render scale as well as a low preset, the game is really going to look like garbage. Before we do that, let's go and have a look. So, okay, it doesn't look amazingly too different, and it's a little bit smoother. We're getting an average now of 20-30 frames per second if we just reset the stats. But at least our frame time has come down now to around 27 milliseconds. I think again, even before we change any of the other settings, Stray is just going to be too much for this little old system now. It's mostly the graphics card that's really causing an issue, but of course the CPU is completely maxed out too. So unfortunately, this is not a game that we can play. So we're going to continue on testing games. We're going to go a little bit newer, but hopefully something a little less demanding than this, but we'll find out when we get there. Now, the next game that we're going to test is Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. I know many of you out there would say this is more of a boomer shooter, and it's designed specifically to kind of be old, and it looks old, so we don't have to worry about graphical fidelity at all. But these kind of games do have a huge cult following. They're loads of fun to play, and hopefully this system can cope a little bit better with it because of all those reasons. It was released in about 2023, so it makes it a much more modern game, and we'll just basically just jump into it. We'll continue on from wherever I last saved the game. Hopefully this game will run okay, although I'm not really sure what else we can do in a game like this to really bring the performance up, because I don't believe it has that many settings if you want to configure things. It's kind of configured in a certain way to run and look in a certain way, and that's exactly how they wanted it. So we'll just jump into game now and we'll reset our stats. I'm not 100% sure what it is kind of saved at, but I do believe this is 1080p. It's not great. I actually expected a little bit more out of this system here. We're currently getting an average of 21 frames per second with a 1% low of 10. Kind of makes this old boomer shooter just not really playable at all, and that's quite surprising really, because graphically, like I say, there's not really much to this. So before I actually get into it with any kind of enemies on the screen, let's see if we can actually go change anything. We'll head over to the options here and we'll go to the video settings. So we are currently running in 1080p. That is the resolution, and we've got full screen. There's not really many other settings here for that kind of stuff. We'll go over to the display, and all you've got is lighting. You can't actually change anything else in this game. So we're kind of stuck here really. I suppose the only thing that we could do is we could go down a resolution. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad in 720p, because the game is designed, like I say, to look really old. So we'll just save that now, see what happens. As you can see, things look much worse now in the game, but we have improved our performance a little bit here. We're now currently getting an average of 40 frames per second with a 1% low of 30, and the game just feels a lot smoother. You can actually move much quicker now, and there's less stuttering around. So I'll try and find some enemies. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going on this, but I'm sure we'll find something. Kind of seem to walk around a lot in this game, shooting a lot of things, but 720p doesn't really give the game much justice at all. You can actually tell that the visual quality is really degraded since we've done that, but we are getting an average of 44 frames per second with a 1% low of 32 now. Not the best result, and a big stutter there. So as soon as we came through that area there, we actually got a big stutter on our frame time. Frame time is currently running at around 24 milliseconds, which again is not a great result, but I just think this system's really showing its limitations now, even on games like this, where you're just not going to be able to get away with playing it. There's a much bigger open area here, but again, I've pretty much killed everything. I need to figure out where I'm supposed to be going. Oh, there you go, there's some bad guys, and as soon as I click the button, the whole game just froze. This is the problem with a system like this. We are maxing out our GPU. We are maxing out our CPU. In actual fact, they're bottlenecking each other here. It's just not going to be a good experience. So there's one more game that we actually want to test, and I will do some other benchmarks on these games for us to compare to later on, but we'll get back over to the desktop. There's one more game that we want to play, something even newer than those, something from 2025. I'm not holding my breath on terms of performance, but I just want to see if it actually starts, and that game is Atomfall. Again, is in terms of a 2025 game, it's an indie game, it's very lightweight. If anything in 2025 has a chance of running, of course it will be this game. If this doesn't run, you're pretty much out of luck for anything else. Before we head into the game though, we'll go over to the settings and we'll see what we've got configured. We're going to completely drop everything down to low here. Motion blur is turned off. Everything is pretty much turned off. We're going to go to display. We're going to try and load it up in 1080p. And again, we'll drop the resolution if we need to. But apart from that, that's the only thing we can really configure. So let's start the game and see what happens. Of course, we're going to get the error here saying that our AMD Radeon drivers are out of date, but we can always click OK and kind of skip past that. So let's see if this game even starts at all. And of course it didn't, so we got a bit of a black screen there. As it tried to initialize the game, we got this error. It currently says failed to initialize D3D12, and there is a big reason for that, and that is because the graphics card we've got here doesn't fully support DirectX 12. Modern games, just like Atomfall, will actually require that feature set, particularly from DirectX. And unfortunately, it just goes to show us where a system like this is really going to hit its limits. It's not the CPU or the hard drive. If we did replace the graphics card in here with something that fully supported a full DirectX 12 feature set, the game should start. But of course, at the moment, it's a did not run. This game simply will not run. So there you go. This system, we can play some games. If we're talking about older games like Half-Life 2, anything that was 2004, so anything around that kind of range, that's Xbox 360 kind of period, should run okay on this system. I'm sure we'll do some more testing at some point, even all the way up to something like Tomb Raider from 2013, which was kind of the era for this PC overall. That runs fine. You can actually lower the settings down and get that playable, but anything after that just seems to really struggle, and there's absolutely no way you would want to play them like that. So let me know in the comments below, what other types of games should we try on this? I'm sure at some point we will get some more installed and we can just give them a bit of a go. What was your favorite game from the 2000 and kind of the Xbox period, so from 2000 to 2010? And maybe we'll give that a go too, and you'll see what your favorite game kind of runs like. And I'm sure as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.